Chasing waterfalls. Please stick to the rivers and the lakes that you're used to. But I know you're gonna have it your way, you're nothing at all. But I think you're moving too fast. You know, Lisa Left Eye. Everybody talks about the conspiracy behind her leaving the planet. You know, because of Dr. Sabi. I didn't even know nothing about Dr. Sabi and Lisa Left Eye's relation to Dr. Sabi. And she was, and then of course the Nipsey Hussle thing, Dr. Sabi again. I was reading some comments and somebody said, where are all the people that Dr. Sabi healed? Because he took them to federal court with him, but we don't see anybody like any of these people going, yeah, I'm the person that. Or maybe they're out there, you know what I'm saying, and I don't know, they're incognito. I don't want to say anything. You know, I have a lot of ideas that I would like to, like build some things and do some stuff, especially with the 3D printers out now. I went to look at some. The learning curve is steep on a 3D printer. But, I like to put together some stuff, but it just seems like whoever makes things better for this world, especially in America or in the European world, they get rid of them. They have one guy who he figured out how to get more out of the computer chip. He was like the computers that were, he's like, we're not even using these computers to full capacity. He's gone. One guy was able to see UFOs. He built this huge machine and it was an older guy too. He was like, in his 70s. He built this machine and he was able to look up and actually see UFOs. I got rid of him. And I have a lot of stuff that I would like to delve into. Like I would okay, recently there was a plane crash in Russia. And I'm very interested in plane crashes. I don't have I'm not fixated upon them, but I look at the plane crash videos and I'm looking at them like, these plane crashes, these casualties, this can be fixed. And with my, low level thinking, because I don't have a degree or anything and or work on these airplanes, I'm looking at, these situations like this can be fixed. I can fix this. But I don't have the mathematical fortitude. I just have the idea. You know what I'm saying? Because some of that stuff does take some math, you know what I'm saying? Does take some deep thinking into the sciences, and you need to study it in order to get it right, especially when you're talking about pressurization. And that's where I'm going. Like when these airplanes depressurize, sometimes depends on how high they are. Your lungs, boom, that's it. Your lungs are gone. People get sucked out of airplanes. Recently, two airplanes went down, and was it Saudi Arabia or something like that, or Pakistan or one of those places, and it was because of they changed the engine placement on the 747. Just competitors, and when they changed the engine placement, they didn't let the pilots know that there was a their software implemented to stop the airplane from nose from going up and then listing. And they didn't tell the pilots that they had this software. So the pilots are fighting with these airplanes, and then they're going like this and listing and then taking a nosedive, and that's it. And every time I see an airplane crash or things along that sort, I'm like, this can be fixed. But I'm afraid to actually give some of my ideas like out there, like real good, and or create, you know, because, I'm afraid of getting, I don't know, there's just a lot. There's just a lot that goes to it, but that's what they do, man. They knock people off who can fix things that are hurting people. One guy was able to get more gas out of a car. He was able to, the car can go 100 miles without, what I'm saying, on 1 gallon. It was like 26, they got rid of him. It's like, dang. I mean, there are so many things that can be fixed in our Western world, in our modern world, that are, hurting people and, taking people out of here. We could fix these things. You know what I'm saying? I myself can't do it by myself, but I have ideas that, if I was talking to some people, who did this, who worked on, spaceships and, what I'm saying, you know, uh, who worked on what I mean, like the Challenger and stuff like that, who works on things like at NASA, who works on airplanes. Like if I could talk to Boeing and be taken seriously, oh my goodness, you know what I'm saying? Especially if I can, make money off of it. I'm just saying my idea, get my ideas copywritten or a patent on whatever I think of, so my family could be so we could be all right. People can't just be saying, yeah, I thought of this and you didn't, because that happens a lot too. You know what I'm saying? Like, you didn't think of that. A lot of stuff we think that people thought of, they say, oh, the Wright brothers did not think of airplanes. Airplanes were, found over 2,000 years ago. Gliders in Egypt. Wright brothers did not think of that. They found replicas, and then they started trying to figure out what these replicas were. And then they came up, well, oh, we did this. You did not do that. You know, the computer, Microsoft and all, they didn't come up with that. You know, all that stuff you think that, the giants came up with, they did not come up with that. That stuff was then found out. Computers been around, the Mayans had computers for the longest time. And even before then, computers were made. And our modern computers, weren't made by, the people who say they made them. So, but nonetheless, when it comes to depressurization, I don't really know a lot about it except what I see. But I think that there's a way where if an airplane depressurizes suddenly, of course, it always happens suddenly, it doesn't usually happen gradually. I think there's a way that every passenger can survive that. And I'm not talking about that little drop down mask you have in it. Nah, screw that, man. Even explosions. Yeah, I've been looking at that too. Like, when a plane explodes, it's pretty much it. It's coming down. But it doesn't mean that the people inside of it have to die. So I'm looking at that like, of course explosions are sudden. But here's the thing. Here's the thing. If you're always prepared for the worst, you won't be surprised by it. You won't. See, when these things happen, people are just, oh my God, I'm like, it's happening more and more now. Like, we put security, but what is security? I'm not even gonna get into so-called security and air marshals and TSA. I'm not gonna do that. I'm going straight to the problem. I'm not going to, let them handle all that on the ground, but let's go straight to, what if this plane explodes? How can the people on this airplane survive? What if it does? And I think every seat can have a mechanism. Listen, I don't even think that it's not so much every seat, Because what if you're out of the seat? Then, sorry about your luck. I think the the way I'm thinking about it is twofold. One is the seats should be more protected, and there's this technology I'm thinking about, and I know it's out there, but basically it will cover your body, and nothing will be able to get through it. Okay, so for one, there's all kind of liquids out there that stop explosives. There's some stuff that this guy, I think it was called Starfall, this guy made, and hardly anything could penetrate it. Just some normal random guy made it. But I'm not even talking about that liquid. There's other things that can stop, sudden impact. But we're not using them because we don't know how to. We don't know how to implement that, and cover, every body type. But see, that should not be hard to do because every body type fits into the seat. So you shouldn't worry about covering every body type. You should worry about covering the seat, the circumference of the seat to a certain diameter. If that person is bigger than that seat, then you don't let them sit there. You let them sit in a bigger seat. You know what I'm saying? If a person is a plus size, you're like, okay, here are the plus size seats over here. Then boom, they're covered. You see what I mean? But anyways, I think this should be a mechanism that um, pretty much goes with software, like a warning system. Uh, if not a warning system, then I think everybody who gets on the plane should have a type of. It's hard to explain, but basically, when you get on the plane, this mechanism will attach to you, and when it does, it covers your whole body in kind of like a force field type of thing. That's pressurized and everything, and you can't suffocate or nothing. It doesn't block your airflow or nothing. What it does is it protects you from any impact, sudden impact, and any extreme heat and or extreme cold and or water. So how do you create such a thing is the question. Well, it's definitely doable. It's definitely doable. And not only that, it's doable for everyone to be able to, once they step on the plane, you know, basically, and they won't be able to get off the plane with it. It's something that when you come on the plane, it like locks onto you, and you walk around the cabin, and it's on you, boom, boom, and when you leave the plane, it unlocks on, and it unlocks off you, and it doesn't leave the plane. It can't leave the plane. I also think the same thing with cars. You know, I mean, this may be babble, but car accidents, kill a lot of people. You know, when I look at people who wearing, military grade stuff on their chest like that, I'm like, okay, using that could stop all the way up to I don't know, AK-47 or whatever. But what if you didn't have to feel the impact of anything? Like when the car stopped, when the thing that hurts people is centrifugal force. What if you took out centrifugal force itself? You know what I'm saying? When a car is moving, it creates centrifugal force, gravity and all that. So when a car stops, your body is still moving at that speed, and this is what causes the impact. Boom, boom, impacting into something. But what if the inside of the car did not have centrifugal force? The whole cab. If the inside of the car did not have centrifugal force, then everything inside of the car is still at 0 miles per hour. Everything outside of the car is moving at whatever rate of speed the car is moving. This way, whenever the car stops, suddenly the body is still. Everything in the car is still. Just some stuff I was thinking about. Anyway, I don't know. I'm not a scientist, but if somebody created those things, I think they would knock them off. We want more car accidents. We want more plane crashes. But I think there's a way to stop all that. Stop all that. Like now. I think it can be done now. Oh, it's your boy Tom 202. Get yourself saved. Jesus loves you, so do I.